Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod.
Pita bread.
That's beautiful, Shannon.
It's the bread. I was gonna do a jingle.
Pita bread. What is that? America the Beautiful.
Just made it up. Pita bread.
Pita bread. The pipes are pita. From Glen to Glen with hummus on the side. I made that part work.
That was good.
That was beautiful.
Hummus and chicken, also a real bop.
Oh yeah, I eat that like every day.
And you know what? Those MFs, they put out hummus, then they put out baba ganoush, and then they were like, and then we were like, okay, but like, what do you got cheese wise? And they're like, you ever had labneh? Holy shit!
Oh, that stuff's good.
So good. I'm like a dog when I get labneh. Like I know I shouldn't eat that
you just
much.
lap it up.
Yeah, I put my face right in it.
Oh, that's
Look like an
sexy.
absolute
Oh,
slob.
thank you, Shannon. Wow.
That's the first time she's ever said that.
She's
to you.
never given me a compliment before.
That's not true.
It's a joke.
Oh, well,
Now that you're mentioning it, though, I can't remember.
yeah, I don't think I
ever
have
happening.
actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
So yeah, anybody got any juice going on? I mean, I had a date.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Oh my god.
There was it was kind of it was a lesson I've learned before, and I had to learn it again. So,
oh brother, here we go, folks.
well, in this girl's defense, I had rescheduled twice, so I felt really bad.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah,
I felt bad.
one time's okay. If you're doing it twice, I'm like, I'm out, honey.
So yeah, she was down. So then we met up and we got dinner, and it was 0.0% chemistry. I was like, oh man, we got nothing.
Did you
here.
use your $20?
No, Shannon. And
seamless?
the bill was over $100. Okay, here's the kicker. This is the insult on the injury. During the meal, one of the servers comes up and she's like, "Oh my God, I know you." And they broed out. They knew each other from college.
Oh.
And then she goes, and then we're like, "Oh, is there anything we're missing? Like, we got to get on the menu." She's like, "Oh, you have to get the yu choy." And it was like a bok choy Italian remix. I don't know.
Oh, bok choy is not good.
I like it. But anyway, then she brings it out and she goes, "It's on the house." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is so great. Like, we got the yu choy for free. Like, you know people." Like, it was kind of attractive. I was like, this is cool.
So all of a sudden she went up in your book.
A little bit. And
a little
then
free food.
A little free food never hurt nobody. And then the bill comes out, and guess what? It was totally on the bill. I had to pay anyway. And I was like, okay, well, we didn't even order it, and now you're zapping me? Like,
what? And then obviously you couldn't be
You
like,
can't
hey,
say
by the way, because that's
anything.
so tacky.
You would have looked like a chump doing that.
yeah, what a bee.
and I broke a personal rule that I set because of Sarah. Sarah always said she hates when guys would be like, when they don't intend on seeing you again, they'd be like, "Well, talk to you soon." And she's like, just don't say it. Just say bye.
Yeah.
And this girl goes, "So I'll see you around." And I went, "Yeah." And I was like, oh, and now I broke that rule.
Do you think-
Well,
do
what
you
were
think
you
maybe-
supposed
I
to
know,
say?
I know.
Your
I was
response.
stuck.
Your response. Yeah, you can't. You know what are you gonna do there? Just like, actually,
Yeah,
gotta
actually,
tell
no. You
this
won't be
sucked.
seeing me around.
It's.
Yeah.
Do you
There's
think
nothing
maybe
you could have done.
Okay.
Because I've had lame dates, and I'm kind of thinking, you know what? There was some fire in the text thread. Maybe it was the setting, and then we go out again there, and it's better. Do you think it's that, or just no go?
We had no compatibility.
Nothing.
No, yeah, it was not
Wow.
fun.
I think it's okay. You probably haven't heard from her.
No, yeah,
It's
no.
a mutual
So,
ghost.
yeah, there you go. And that's just parting ways. You learned a lesson. You paid
That's
the
just
tax.
the name of the game.
I paid a heavy tax.
How much was the bok choy?
$12.
Okay,
which
I
is
was
be
actually
worse.
going to guess 12.
It was a fine. It wasn't really that bad.
I was gonna
but-
guess 20, depending on the restaurant.
Oh,
I could
that
see
would've been
being a
rough.
20 app.
There's just something really kind of ugly about spending that much on someone, and then your interaction was like completely fruitless. It's like, we're not going to be friends. We're never going to talk
That's why you got to
again.
do the whole like just getting it. Well, I know you don't drink, but like getting a coffee or something.
Well, and
where
I
it's
tried.
a
I tried to
little-
shift us to the park, and I was like, "Why don't we do a park walk, and then we'll get pizza if we are vibing?"
And she's like, no.
She's like,
dinner.
"The weather looks pretty bad," and then I was like, "Okay."
You rescheduled twice. She was getting a free meal out
Yeah,
of you.
yeah, totally.
That's the
It's
karma.
fair. No, it's fair.
Yeah.
You're right. It's fair.
It is fair.
So anyway, back to being single.
Wait,
and
did you meet her
lonely.
on the apps?
Yeah. Whatever. I got a new app picture though, because Jake and I met these great dogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
you're
wait,
using that
wait.
picture?
Yeah.
Update to the Hinge profile. Did you did you take our advice?
Yeah, I did.
Did you re-record that
lying.
one?
I stopped lying, and I
What
changed-
height are you?
I'm 5'9".
Okay. And did you
And-
re-record the one where you sound like a total bro?
I got rid of my voice prompt. I'm feeling a little insecure.
Well,
right
I think
now.
it was fine if you just redid it with a little bit more energy and enthusiasm.
And
I
not
just-
clearly recording it in bed
In
with your
bed,
shirt
yeah,
off.
like that.
What's
With his
up?
arm up like
Hey,
that.
ladies.
I just say yes to adventure with
We
fucking
wake up at like
anybody.
2 a.m.
I just want a snow girlfriend. That's just
That
where
would
I'm
be
at right now.
perfect.
Yeah.
A
Well,
snow
that-
hoe?
Okay.
a snow hoe.
I'm
I
not
like
comfortable,
it.
but if you guys,
I knew Shannon was going to back me up on that. That's why I
you got
said it.
backed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really talk like that about women.
Not into a microphone.
Yeah,
Not a microphone.
no,
anyway.
Jake.
You
No,
should have
you
heard him
don't.
before we were recording this.
Guys,
Woo!
stop, Shannon, with your gaslighting. Enough. I do not speak that
He
way.
didn't. He's the angel of all angels.
The
To be
ol-
fair, men can be snow hoes too.
I'll accept that.
That's
I am
true.
a snow.
I
hoe.
like the word
ideally.
hoe.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
fun.
It depends
It's
on
fun.
the context.
It's a little lighter than whore.
I'm with you there.
Whore is harsh.
Whore is harsh, with the R,
Yeah,
the
whore
harsh
is, whore is
R.
church
Yeah.
shaming.
But a
Yeah.
hoe is like, look at that hoe.
I will say though,
can say
when
that.
like when like one of your girlfriends or gal pals like with the right energy is just like, what's going on, whores? Like there is like
oh
a
yeah,
lot of
there's
like
something
yeah.
funny
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
You can do that for sure. But hoe is like remember that saying? Did you guys ever use this with hoops? Be like the bigger the ow, the bigger the how.
I have never
with
heard
hoop
that.
earrings.
Hoop earrings,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I love giant hoop earrings on a
Same.
woman.
Really? That's a thing
yeah,
for you.
I kind of
Okay.
like that like New Jersey trash look.
Yeah.
That's why I think
Mm.
Shannon's hot because she's
Thank you.
she's a parking lot girl.
I'm a parking lot girl.
Yeah, I'm into that. Like kicked
I'll
on
dress like
makeup.
that next time. Should
It
I?
would be very distracting for me.
Oh, okay,
you
well.
know, but-
No, I do understand. I think my equivalent for that is not all country girls, but lake country girls specifically.
Ooh,
like that.
a
lake
that,
girl.
yeah, lake
Mm.
girls can get it.
Yeah.
right.
Actually, my cousin that was just in town, she's a lake country girl from, well, not the South Country, but like right outside of Canada in upstate
Oh
New York.
yeah, that's a
It's like
that's a
very-
brand
cold
for
lake.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Those girls.
Up in the Poconos.
yeah.
the Poconos.
Well, guys, we got a great little F for you. I'm excited about this. We're first going to do this little Patreon submission. Please do join us on Patreon. We'd really appreciate it. 150 plus bonus episodes. We got a Discord. Jake's has got a tabletop RPG thing popping off in there.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Oh my God, Shannon is killing the Instagram. And actually, somebody posted on our YouTube. They're like, you guys don't talk about our YouTube. We do post the full
Yes.
episodes on YouTube along with YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, we've got some funny reactions that are happening that you guys can't hear on the pod that you can see on YouTube.
See my
Yeah.
house. See where I live.
See his house.
Yeah.
Jake has some great facial expressions.
We all
That's
do.
true. He really does. Oh yeah, but you got the best
You
faces.
got the best
He's
one.
got great
That one
faces.
episode where I did the Gollum impression, you guys are marveling at my face work in that.
Oh
It
my
actually,
God,
it made
yeah,
me feel really
it's
accomplished as
scary.
an
Oh
actor.
yeah, no,
I need to go
you're-
and watch that one.
You're the best impressionist I know for sure.
Really?
definitely.
Wow,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you.
I mean, I can't name any other ones, but
Frank Caliendo's got me beat.
I don't know him personally. You know.
Okay, fair
we
enough.
had a podcast together, but then my horse kicked him. Here's Shannon.
AITA for ordering bruschetta. I, 40M, am an American with no Italian descent. I do quite appreciate Italian food and culture, though, and I have visited Italy a number of times. I went to Buca di Beppo for a family celebration. I said to the waiter, "We'll start with the bruschetta." The waitress said, "The bruschetta?" I replied, "Yes, the bruschetta."
Oh God.
My wife, 40F, said I sound like a wanka when I say bruschetta and that I should stop. She says the American way to say it is bruschetta, and I'm acting like a show off. I feel like it's a no-win, and it feels uncultured to just say it wrong, and that there's no such thing as an American way of saying it. I refused to stop, and when the appetizer showed up, I asked family members if they wanted me to pass the bruschetta, despite some of them being confused what I was even asking them. AITA for saying bruschetta like an Italiano.
Oh my God.
Imagine being at Buca di Beppo and thinking, this is the height of Italy. I must speak the local language for them to understand my culinary desires.
Yeah. Yeah, the setting here is really cringe. Like, no one at Buca de Beppo gives two fucks.
Okay.
This is a restaurant where you are eating in the kitchen. It's not even really technically a restaurant.
You want the onion rings too? Like, look at what else is on the menu here.
Right.
I think Buca de Beppo is good.
No,
No,
I
I
like
think it's
Buca de
good. I
Beppo.
think it's
I love
okay.
that.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Rigatoni? I love
that
the
you can eat
rigatoni
in the
there.
kitchen there. I always thought that was weird.
Oh, I didn't know
The
that.
Pope room.
You don't know
crepes.
that?
No.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh, you want a table in the kitchen? You can
Oh,
watch it get made.
interesting.
And then you go to the kitchen, everybody got a rat underneath their hat.
Oh, ratatouille.
It's all ratatouilles.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
a
secret.
little Ratatouille
Have y'all eaten in the
reference.
Pope room?
No, it's a Pope room.
The Pope room, it's like a room where they just it's just a big round table
Oh.
and it's all Pope stuff. It's whichever Pope. It's a bunch of, which is
Oh.
kind of creepy when you
My
know what the
mom
Catholic
would
Church
love
is up
that.
to. You know, it's like
Yeah.
like
Well, the Pope never did anything wrong
the one-
besides that thing with the Nazis. Shh.
and Pope John Paul II covering up abuse and yeah. Anyway, but in the one at City Walk, they actually have a bust of the Pope's head in the middle of the table. So when you spin around the like Lazy
Oh.
Susan thing,
Oh,
he's
no
like
thanks.
Popey,
staring,
looky.
yeah.
Hello, Pope.
Well, so my grandma, I guess she went to Italy one time and then she came back, and my grandfather always made this really good bruschetta. And anytime he would make it, she would have to say to us, you know, it's bruschetta. Bruschetta,
Yeah.
always. So this situation like definitely rang true to me because she would just for years until she died was always saying, no, it's bruschetta. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Graham.
I mean, I you know, this is, my dad does stuff like this. You know,
My
every time
my
we
dad would do
eat,
this
for
too.
our French is on the menu, he's gonna start speaking his little like he knows like 7 phrases in French. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't really see any harm here. I think it's obnoxious and embarrassing when somebody is doing this. Like, yes, I will have el burrito, and it's like, oh God, please just order.
Yeah.
I think it
it's
does.
a lot.
I think, and they do go out of their way to specify that they're saying it with the proper syllables, as opposed to what my dad would do, which I actually did think was like, if you're saying it to an Italian person, it's racist, where he would go, yeah, you know, let us get some of that chicken cacciatore, and you would like you do the
Gesture
finger
at the same
and
time,
like and
yeah.
it was really like, okay, you're turning them into a theme park at this point.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same thing as like I went like I'll be honest, Jackie does this and she knows it drives me nuts, but she'll say croissant. She'll say croissant
Yeah,
instead of,
that's-
and it's the same thing. It's like, no, you have an American accent. You can say croissant because that is how it sounds in our accent. It's like,
Right.
it's like if a French person came over here and was, you know, doing the, oh, I cannot wait to see Disneyland.
That would I love when they do that.
It's
I love
funny.
when British comedians speak American
Dude.
like. Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's all go down to the parking lot and
Yeah,
get in our
yeah.
Subarus.
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
it's I love when people
It
dunk on
kills
American
me.
accents because we do have a really
It is
funny
really
accent.
funny.
But
Wait,
yeah,
but Shannon, I thought you had a thing about Antarctica.
Yeah,
was that
so
about?
my mom
What?
recently, my dad recently got back from a South American and Antarctica trip, and they stopped in a bunch of places in South America. And so whenever my mom would be explaining where they were going, she would be like, and then we're stopping in Montevideo.
Oh god.
And I'm like, Mom, just say Montevideo. Like, please don't do the accent. It's really making
but when
me
you first brought the
cringe.
story and you were like, yeah, they went on an Antarctica trip and Jake got confused.
I was like, what's an Antarctica accent? How do the penguins talk down there? Like, actually, it's not egg, it's
yeah. That's a seal.
I think it's really cringy. I don't think it's necessary. I think you're trying to one up everybody. I think it's I especially doing it at Buca de Beppo, it just makes it such American behavior.
I actually
Yeah.
don't really see like I guess with this one specifically is bruschetta and bruschetta are like so close that it's just literally a
Well, it's
K
only
or
the
a
emphasizing, you know,
No,
because if
he
you
was
just go
saying that-
bruschetta.
No, he was saying that he wasn't going bruschetta. He was going
he
bruschetta.
did call that out. He
said that in the
specified.
Oh, he
edit.
said that in the edit that
in
he
the edit
wasn't
that you
like hitting it
erased.
hard.
So
Yeah.
you're still not saying it right. By your own rules, you're not saying it
He was
right.
saying
You're saying a
bruschetta.
bastardized
So
version
he wasn't
of it.
hitting it because, like, okay, well, I think we all agree that like your version, Jake, where you were like,
Hey,
like, that's,
meatball all over my peanuts.
that's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's getting insulting.
Yeah.
But like, I think to subtly do it is like that isn't even obnoxious. Just like, oh yeah, let me get
The
an
bruschetta.
enchilada. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, I agree. I think the wife was making a little bit more bigger of a deal out of it than she needed to.
I think my thing with it is it's kind of like once you're correcting somebody at their job about how they're saying it, that's where
they
no,
corrected?
the waitress corrected him.
well, the waitress said, "Do you mean this?" And he said, "Yes, the." And to me, that's
bruschetta.
passive aggressive
Oh, you're
correction.
right.
But it was passive aggressive for her too.
Well, they might have just been
No,
double
she's
checking.
confused because
like,
he's butchering.
Please, like you don't know.
No,
what
he's
that
butchering the
bruschetta
word.
honestly,
is
I'll never.
bruschetta.
I would never fault a server for double checking. You know.
Yeah,
That's
you're
true,
like,
that's true.
oh, okay, you're just saying nonsense to me. I'm just going to make sure that you're saying, because he's admitting that he's not saying it with an Italian accent. He's saying it the correct way. He's going rogue and inventing his own way to say it. Also, I've seen a ton of videos on social media of Italian people specifically saying, please stop trying to say our food like you're Italian.
Really? I've heard
Really?
people from other countries getting annoyed with Americans for not saying it the right way. And that's what honestly kind of drives me crazy, because I'm like, are we not allowed to have accents, that we say things in our accent? Like, I feel like a lot of times they hold us accountable to say it the way that they say
They
it.
think they do, and then they have an American come over and is like, bonjour, I want croissant. And it's just like, now it's this butchered mess of both accents and nobody's happy. So I think the best thing to do when you're in your own country is just say it with your accent.
I mean, I think Europe has a lot of self-esteem issues.
Yeah,
you know, because it used to be kind of a thing, and now it's
because
We had to save their ass in 2 world wars. I'm kidding. I know it's a complicated topic.
Well, but you know, they're kind of cringe now. Like, you know, nobody's like, oh, let me have some Marmite. Like, their shit is nasty. Like,
you mean English people?
English?
You said Europe.
England really went. Well, what's the difference? They really went.
Big difference.
They went from the empire of the world to like, we eat potato chips and garbage, and it's like, dude.
Well, I have to say
that's
their food sucks,
disgusting.
but
Their
I
food
love
sucks.
English people. They're
But
hilarious.
I mean, they did leave the EU, but the UK is still Europe technically in terms of content.
Well, and then they make fun of us, and it's like, you left the EU, dog. Like, you guys fucked this up. Like, don't.
And
act
then they were like, "Shit, we fucked up."
the most American, the most
I was
American
upset.
thing you could have ever done was Brexit. That is the most.
So,
that's the biggest
yeah.
American.
It was
energy.
very
They lost.
Trumpy.
They're like, oh, Americans are all fat and have guns, and it's like, okay, well, we didn't leave the EU.
Also, everybody, like global statistics, everybody's getting fat. That's not an American
Oh,
thing
is that spreading to
alone
Europe
anymore. It's
now?
everybody. It's everybody. It's every country.
I do like how the French people revolt. They really got that one down over
They
there.
revolt over fucking everything
and they
over
win,
there, yeah.
right? Like if somebody's fucked up, they're like, hey, you know that Gary, like you guys, his employer stole $150 from him, and then everyone in France is like, there will be a global strike and nobody fucking works and nothing happens till Gary gets his $100.
Is this the French Revolution?
Pierre, I heard that they're changing our lunch hour to only being 2 hours instead of 4. And vive la révolution! Jacques David.
Actually, I was wearing a beret the other day, and the bartender did say like "Viva la Revolution" to me.
There you go. No, I'm just kidding. We got some UK listeners. I love you guys.
Oh, I love you guys.
It's all love. I think that I love Europeans dunking on Americans. I love Americans dunking on Europeans. And everybody leaves Canada alone because they're so nice.
They are so
yeah,
nice. I
and
love
there's
Canada.
good skiing up there too.
Letterkenny's
But I
giving
do
us some
think
stuff.
that
There
this
we go,
guy
though.
was like, you know, how he just kept saying it to kind of like get on his wife's nerves.
If it was a bit, I'm all for it.
I think it was a bit, honestly.
But he came to the internet to get reassurance that it's okay. So I'm not
That's
sure it
true.
is a bit.
I mean, I think, look, in the end, this is really just obnoxious. It's tough for me to call anyone an asshole. Like, I think
it's nothing.
It's nothing, you know.
It's cringy.
I think it's cringy. I think you should be on alert that it is cringe.
Well, my grandma.
Your
rest
grandma
in
was a
peace,
cringe lord.
She was a cringe
Your grandma
lord.
was a cringe lord.
She was.
And look, the thing is
Her
that
dying word was YOLO. It's like, Grandma, that ship sailed, babe. And she's like,
anytime you do this, you are going to incite eye rolls. And particularly with Italian food, like if you don't speak Italian, and the fact that like, again, like you're not Italian. You don't speak Italian. What are you trying to prove? You're a weeb for Italy? What a weird thing. Like this
and let me say, you don't need to go to Italy. California is basically the same thing.
Go to the city walk, Buca di Beppo sit in the Pope room. You've basically been to Rome.
That's Italy. Come on.
Hey, now that's Italian. There was an Italian restaurant at the town.
We went to this town, and there was it was called.
There's 3 restaurants, and one of them was the Pizza Barn, the Pizza Factory.
It was called the Pizza Barn,
and a place called That's Italian. And I feel like if you told somebody if that's Italian, the bruschetta, they would be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, right. Wait, Shannon, are you mad about this anti-Europe rhetoric?
No.
Oh, I thought you got like huffy.
Shannon hates Europeans. Have you heard her takes on sweets?
Yeah.
Holy
I am
shit.
Swedish.
Yeah, I know.
Are you
You're
Swedish?
very self-loathing.
my-
Yeah, because every time I'm
grandfather-
like, Shannon's so nice, and I'm like, yeah, she's sweet-ish.
I actually
Swedish.
would have guessed that you're Swedish, and that felt racist, so I didn't want to take a swing. But okay, that tracks.
AITA for ordering bruschetta. I think we agree it's obnoxious, it's cringe, but nonetheless.
But we love you.
no assholes here.
Yeah, he's like my
If it's
grandma.
a bit, great bit.
If it's a bet.
If it's a bit,
All
that's a great
right.
bit.
All right, folks. Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
We
Join us
appreciate
on
it.
Patreon. Lots of bonus
Lots
apps,
of
lots of
bonus
fun,
episodes, lots of
ad
fun,
free,
ad-free,
Discord. Talk to
Discord,
Shannon, talk to
Shannon.
me, and talk to Jake.
Instagram.
Shannon's killing it. Follow us there. Watch the videos on
Maybe
YouTube.
we already plugged this. Did
Yeah,
we?
we plugged it. We get it.
I'm so sorry.
All
Plugging it
right.
again.
Now we're throwing it to Jacques David.
Jacques David.
over
Jacques
here
David.
on our. Here we go.
AITA for buying lower grade steaks when my in-laws visit and serving my mom and dad wagyu. My wife and I live far away from both of our sets of parents. We visit them a couple of times a year and they visit us about the same. My mom and dad love food. They'll buy pounds of garlic and leave it in a rice maker for a month to make black garlic. They plan their vacations around amazing restaurants. My in-laws are lovely people, but boiling chicken drumsticks is fancy for them. And they
Ooh.
refuse to eat
Eek.
steak that isn't well done. I discovered this the first time I went to their home for dinner. I wasn't even asked how I like my steak. Everyone got a well done steak. Took me years to convince my wife to try medium rare steak. Now she loves them. I bought some beautiful prime steak for them when they came over when we moved in together. I made theirs medium well, and I died a little inside. Her dad took it back to the grill and destroyed them. So now I buy select grade meat. I've been buying some excellent quality Wagyu for when my parents visit. Not every single time, maybe once a year. My wife says I'm being an asshole for not treating both families the same. I don't think I should waste money on great food for them when I know how they will treat it. AITA.
Well, what I have to say about this is just because they don't like to eat it the way that you like to eat it doesn't mean that they're not enjoying the food just as much, but in their way of eating it.
I will push back on you on that simply because a well done steak, Wagyu is imported. We actually looked this one up. It's coming from 4 principal breeds of beef cattle in Japan, and then it is imported to the States. It's incredibly expensive, and any meat, no matter how good it is, when it's prepared well done, it is instantly becomes the same quality as the lowest grade meat that you
It
can buy.
does?
I
Yes.
think that's common knowledge. I don't even think.
I
I mean,
didn't know
I'd love to
that.
hear if someone knows more about meat than us, but I agree with Jake wholeheartedly.
And it
every
becomes,
chef I know.
because isn't select grade meat basically
grade
mean
A
that
or
it's
whatever.
like
It's still good. Like it's still perfectly
fine.
viable
He's
meat.
eating
it's
it.
not like bad for you?
If you're eating well done steaks, you should be buying select grade
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
There's no point.
It's just more
Alright.
Meat
financial.
is bad for
I
you.
truly don't know anything
Let me
about
tell you
steak.
guys, as someone who's a vegetarian at home, I am disgusted by meat. No, I would love to be really sanctimonious, and then at home though, only I do eat.
That's how
burgers.
I am kind of.
Oh, really?
Like at home vegetarian.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
I
really
do.
Meat. I don't
Yeah.
eat meat at home.
Yeah,
Well,
that's been great.
I will occasionally, especially if I'm out on the road, I close a big sale. I'll go to a steakhouse every now
Oh,
and then.
really? Oh, I didn't know you
Yeah.
were a steakhouse guy.
I like the atmosphere of a steakhouse, but here's the thing: I don't go for the top shelf red meat. I think you get diminishing returns. We were talking
I
about
agree
this on
with
the ride up
that,
to
yeah.
Kern. So that when I'm treating myself, I'll usually go for something that's solid, better than usual.
Yeah.
But once you're past a certain point, Wagyu is really nice. I've had it before. I've never had Kobe, but I have had Wagyu.
Kobe.
I've had Kobe. It was, I think it was like roughly $50 an ounce, and we split it.
ounce?
Yeah, it's really expensive.
How many
Crazy.
ounces does
I think it
one
was like
eat?
220, and you got like 6 ounces, so a little bit less than 50.
Got
But
it.
yeah, I mean, it was absolutely divine. It melts in your mouth. Obviously, it's like super medium rare. Like it's.
Okay.
I look. I think obviously when you're treating people differently, it doesn't sound good and it sounds like unequal, unfair treatment. But I really do feel like this is simply economizing for the reality that when you do cook meat a lot,
Yeah, if you're ruining it anyway, what is the point of spending $50 an ounce?
There is a ding here on the father-in-law. Taking a steak back to the grill that was prepared for you and then burning it, that's really rude. That's an incredibly rude thing to do.
But what if you don't like it that way?
Then you ask the person who made it for you, do you mind if I cook this?
You're
I just
making
like it well
somebody
done.
I agree.
If you just walk it back to the grill yourself and throw it on, that's so rude.
I agree. I agree that it can play rude.
You think that that's like if you made somebody spaghetti and they just went back to the kitchen without saying anything and squirted a shit ton of ketchup on it and then came back to the table.
God.
I think that the polite thing to do would be like, you know what? I'm so sorry. I just like my meat well done. I'll do it myself.
And I like my spaghetti how they serve it at Buca de Beppo.
I guess you could. But he never said that. He didn't say he asked me or whatever.
Yeah, he's not dinging on that note. But I see Jake on that. I just do think that, like, look, when you're starting to, what is really being compared here, right? It's the cost, right? This meat is more expensive. But I think that's kind of ridiculous. What if they were vegetarian, for instance? Well, it's very difficult to spend as much on a vegetarian meal as it is a meat eater's meal. To me, the idea that there's a thoughtfulness here of the prep and the prep is matching them, I just don't really see any issue with that.
And see, here's where, and a commenter actually beat me to this, because when I was reading this for the first time, this person nailed my thoughts exactly. Cats and dogs, please. Love that username. Says, NTA, but perhaps you can think of something else your in-laws would appreciate a splurge on. Drinks, desserts, or even an experience that would be meaningful to them. And more importantly, make your wife feel heard, validated, and like her family is important to you.
Yeah.
That nails it. I don't think you're a jerk here, but everybody has something they like to treat themselves with. And your parents, it's clearly food. Get to know the in-laws a little bit.
Yeah, like what's important to them.
Yeah,
or what would they find meaningful?
That's the solution.
Because the victim here is actually just the wife. She is feeling, if she's saying what she's saying, I could almost ding her, because you shouldn't be calling your partner an asshole. But if she said, like, hey, I just feel like you're not showing to me that you care about my parents, I feel hurt that you don't care about my parents, then I love what you said. I think that's a great way to approach this, because it is about her feelings. They don't care.
I think that I could also see too how OP's response has her feeling a little on edge, because he's probably feeling really put out of like, burn my steaks, I'll get you. Right? So I can understand why it probably makes her feel a little bit weird, but I think there's an easy solution here. Dogs and cats, please, nailed it. I just liked this comment because I felt like this in so many different situations. Ms. Lucinda says, I wish there was a this is dumb voting option, because this is dumb. And this is kind of dumb. I think it's an easy solution. Your folks don't like nice food. I don't think nice food is going to be a good way to make your parents equal when they're guests in your home.
Yeah, and maybe just don't get steaks. Like, make a nice spaghetti dinner or something like that.
Spaghetti.
But I think I just get like a little bit frustrated with, because I was like, I'm not a steak eater, but the times, and I'm like better about it now whenever I have steak, but I would like them like medium well when I was younger, when I would try it. And I just think people get like really mad for no reason. Like the part where he's like, I died a little inside.
It's gatekeepy.
Like,
it's really gatekeepy.
It is a little bit like, okay, just because you like it one way just doesn't mean I like it another way. But
it's kind of like cooking sushi.
It is. No, that is the thing, is like every culinary focused person, and I'm not a chef. I don't get a ton of joy out of cooking, but every single person I know who does factually says, get the cheapest meat possible if you eat well done, because it's defeating the purpose of getting nice meat.
I agree with that. That's fine.
I think a lot of people put a little bit too much on their food and what they're making their food. And the reality is that I think, first of all, for most people, like for me, and I am fortunate, I have eaten at some of the best restaurants in the world. Like I got to do a lot of experiences like that. Like this was very much like one of the relationships I was in. Like this was her family and they love to bouge out. But like most events I'm at, like I don't really give a fuck. The food is there to be fed. I'm there for the people, and I really think it's always about knowing your audience. If you're going to be bouging out and making sushi or whatever, making medium rare meat, Well, you should know that the people there are going to appreciate that.
Know your
Otherwise, I
audience, yeah.
totally understand if you're going to feel burned. I just went on a date and spent $100 on someone I never want to speak to again, and they feel
Yeah.
the same way. You know how bad that sucks?
Yeah, not for her.
So it's
Yeah,
very
that's fair. She rocked it.
She
rocked
gave
it.
you the tax for sure.
She
You
rocked
it.
delayed twice and you paid the
It was
tax.
a good night for her.
But that's why it is like, how about next time instead of like, I guess I already said this, but it's like, just make a different dinner.
Well, there's a great quote my mom says, and it grosses me out every time she says it, but I think there's a lot of wisdom in it. She goes, "It's called making love for a reason." Now, unfortunately, every time she says it, I do envision my parents
Die
having
a little
sex,
bit
which
inside,
I
yeah.
hate. I hate. But what she is saying is it takes constant effort. And I like the solution here that someone proposed, which is channel this energy of spending less on the meat into caring for them in another way. And that's how you can quote unquote make love. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
does the poop hider sound like during sex? That is an interesting
I've
question.
never
We're not going
Oh
to
my
discuss it
God.
now.
Heard my parents having
Um,
sex.
No, but I do want to call out. OP does specify that the steaks aren't the only thing that they make for them. It seems like it is a once a year occurrence for both families. So this seems
Oh.
super avoidable. I would say honestly, go to a night like if food's not that important, go take them out to a Bennigan's, a Chili's, go to a place where
Yeah,
that's
that
fun.
they'll appreciate and have a good time.
Yeah.
Or make them boiled drumsticks. They seem to like
Oh,
that.
Which is like that
God.
is interesting that specifically. Now I'm reading into this. I think he is being a bit of a snob when he's saying, "Oh, boiled drumsticks are fancy to them." No, it's not. They just don't care. So
Yeah.
you have to figure out what they do care about and meet
Well,
them
anyone
there.
who
Right.
boils chicken, they should be on some kind of list.
My dad boiled chicken. I that was when my parents were divorced. That would be nights at my dad's house was London broils and boiled chicken.
AITA for
Yikes.
buying lower grade steaks when my in-laws visit and serving my mom and dad wagyu.
Oh, where
I think
are
we agree.
here?
No, I think it's no
No
assholes
assholes
here.
here.
Yeah, no assholes here. Just there's better solutions to approach this problem, but no assholes. here.
Wow, we're doing a lot of no assholes here. I think that's the third one today.
It was a chill app, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for listening.
We
And
got a little
Oh, we
heat
got
up.
one more.
guys, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it, and we hope you all enjoy your weekly bruschetta, huh?
Bruschetta!
Hey, going down to the Book of the Beppo, the Italian house of tradition.
Down to Montevideo.
Opa, that's Greek.
All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh,
I won.
I thought
won.
Danny was gonna win.
I kind of feel like I won.
I kind of think you did too.
No, he's doing wrestling. He's doing wrestling.
Let me tell you
He's doing
something.
wrestling.
You
Stop
think
the
you can-
recording. He's doing the wrestling.
Oh, yeah.